Exclusive. UK's crushing aid cuts spark international fury and strategic concerns. The UK's international development landscape has been thrown into turmoil following a bombshell announcement: a near 50% slash to the international aid budget. This seismic shift, orchestrated by Labour leader Keir Starmer to bolster defence spending, has triggered a wave of outrage, resignations, and stark warnings about the perilous geopolitical consequences. The fallout began with the dramatic resignation of Anneliese Dodds, the International Development Minister. In a stinging rebuke, Dodds declared that maintaining crucial funding for vital programs in Gaza, Sudan, and Ukraine would become impossible under the drastically reduced budget. Her departure underscores the deep-seated concerns within the Labour Party itself regarding the severity and implications of these cuts. Dodds' resignation letter, a damning indictment of Starmer's decision, painted a grim picture of a weakened UK on the global stage. She argued that this retreat from international development would hand a significant advantage to both Russia and China, emboldening their already aggressive expansionist strategies. Russia, she warned, would capitalize on the vacuum created by the UK's withdrawal, further entrenching its influence in vulnerable regions and undermining global stability. Similarly, she highlighted China's ambition to reshape the global order, a goal that would be significantly aided by the UK's diminished role in international development. This sentiment was echoed by David Lammy, the Foreign Secretary, who earlier this month issued a prescient warning about the potential ramifications of reduced aid funding. He described the US's parallel cuts as a big strategic mistake, emphasizing that such actions would create a power vacuum readily exploited by China to expand its influence globally. Lammy's statement hinted at a deep concern that the UK might be following a dangerous path dictated by external pressures, a notion further fueled by the timing of Starmer's announcement. The decision, made just 2 days before the Prime Minister's scheduled meeting with President Trump, ignited immediate speculation that Starmer was mirroring the US approach to international aid. This perception fueled the widespread anger amongst aid groups, who issued scathing critiques, highlighting the devastating human cost of these cuts in countries heavily reliant on UK support. The potential loss of life and the exacerbation of existing humanitarian crises form the stark, morally repugnant backdrop to this controversial policy shift. Richard Dannett, a former head of the British Army, added his voice to the chorus of condemnation, delivering a powerful warning against the strategic folly of the aid cuts. In an interview with The Guardian, he labeled the decision a strategic mistake, arguing that it would ultimately increase the burden on Britain's armed forces. He asserted that this move, far from strengthening the UK, would leave the nation weaker and more vulnerable to global threats, requiring a greater military expenditure to compensate for the loss of soft power achieved through development aid. The sheer scale of the cuts, coupled with the high-profile resignations and expert criticism, exposes a deep rift within the Labour Party and raises serious questions about the UK's long-term strategic goals. The argument that increased defence spending necessitates decreased aid spending fails to account for the intricate interconnectedness of national security and international development. Investing in global stability and alleviating suffering through aid often proves a more cost-effective and strategically astute approach to preventing future conflict and mitigating threats to national security than solely relying on military intervention. The debate extends far beyond mere budgetary considerations. It touches upon the very soul of British foreign policy and its role in the world. Will the UK continue to be a force for good, actively contributing to global stability and development, or will it retreat from its global responsibilities, leaving a void to be filled by increasingly assertive powers with less benevolent agendas? The answers to these questions will profoundly shape not only the UK's future, but also the trajectory of international relations in the coming years. The ramifications of this decision extend far beyond the immediate budgetary implications, carrying profound consequences for global security and humanitarian efforts for years to come. The coming weeks and months will undoubtedly be crucial in observing the unfolding impact of this controversial decision and its far-reaching implications.